Luna. Luna, do you want a treat? Okay, don't tell anyone. This is our secret. Luna. Luna, promise not to tell anyone? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Good girl. Don't tell anyone. Hello, my name is Tucker. For today's video, I thought it would be fun to make sugar cookies. It was hard to justify this as a booktube video, but I have a justification. This is Delish, the cookbook from Delish, the company, and it was published by HMH. It does have a sugar cookie recipe in it, so I'm going to use that sugar cookie recipe and call this a booktube video. I'm not making these cookies for myself, I'm actually making them for my school. My idea was that teachers get a lot of gifts, but the staff, like custodians, janitors, cafeteria people, they don't get as much appreciation as they should, so I'm making cookies for them. Yeah, so without further ado, let's get into the recipe. Okay, so the first thing you do is, well, the first thing you always do is wash your hands. I've already done that. The second thing I'm going to do is attach the whisk. Thingy, the beater. There we go. This is an old machine, but I love it. Next is creaming the butter and the sugar together. I have 2 sticks of butter, and I'm going to add them to the bowl. There's a lot of fat in this recipe, but that's what makes dessert good. Fat and sugar. Now, most recipes say that you should get your butter out to soften. I personally think it works. It's not bad to soften, but in a pinch, if you didn't get out the butter to soften, your recipe is not going to be ruined if the butter isn't softened. Next, how much sugar? 1 cup of granulated sugar. Make sure you don't use brown sugar. Light brown sugar, dark brown sugar, and granulated sugar and powdered sugar. Those, oh my goodness, I just opened the bag and it puffed up a powder of sugar. Anyway, those, let's see, powdered sugar, light brown sugar, dark brown sugar, granulated sugar, white sugar, those are all, they're not really interchangeable. It might seem like they are, but they're not. They all have different properties and effects on baked goods, so unless you absolutely have to, always use what the recipe calls for. Anywho, now I add the sugar. Now I'm going to cream the eggs and, ugh. My brain is really in a good mood today. It's Friday the 13th, and, I'm not superstitious, but I have OCD, so my brain is just, freaking out on the inside. Anywho, I'm going to cream the butter and the sugar. This will get loud, so prepare yourself. Oh boy. Also, don't forget to make sure your stand mixer is locked into place, because otherwise the head thing will fly up. Oh boy. Okay, now that it is creamed, well, first of all, I need to scrape it down with the spatula. this way. And now, oh, don't bark. We have the doji, Luna, just waiting for crumbs. If they come to the floor, you can eat them, but I'm not going to give you anything extra, Luna. Okay, now we add 1 large egg. Okay, so along with the egg, I'm going to add the vanilla. I hope we, okay, yeah, we have some. I'm really a pro baker because I always forget to check to make sure we have everything before I start baking. I'm so good at this. I'm also really good at peeling off labels and wrappers. Okay. How much vanilla? A teaspoon. I'm just gonna estimate. Another pro tip. For real though, don't estimate and count your ingredients. Don't lick that, Luna. You're not gonna like vanilla, Luna, I promise you. It doesn't taste good. So this recipe only calls for a vanilla extract, but if we have it, here it is. I always add just a drop of almond extract to my cookies because and a little goes a long way. So don't add a teaspoon like you would with the vanilla, but it just adds enhancement to the flavor. It's really good. Now I'm going to mix this. Oops, I forgot to add the milk. 1 tablespoon of milk. I don't know why. Ooh. No, I won't do that. I could add eggnog instead of milk, but because these aren't for me, I'm not going to experiment with them. I don't know why we're adding milk to cookies. I've never seen that done, but again, trying to follow the recipe, not experimenting. Don't bark, Luna. Okay, next I'm going to add the dry ingredients, which I think I forgot to combine in a separate bowl because, again, pro baker. Okay, what are our dry ingredients? 3 cups of flour. Okay, where is my flour? Here it is. The thing with flour, I will show you how to measure it out. You don't want to pack it in. This is a mistake a lot of people make when measuring flour. If I can find a spoon. Okay. No, that's not a spoon. That's a tablespoon. Hello? Spoon? Hello? This will work. I don't know what kind of spoon this is. So a lot of people like dig the flour out, but you don't want to do that because it packs the flour and it'll make cookies a lot more dense than you want them to be. What does that say? Okay. Flour is raw. I almost just did it. My default is to do that too. So you want to spoon the flour in carefully. As you can see, I'm making a mess because this is just how I am. Messy. Again, if these were for me, I would scoop this off the counter and put it in the cookies, but because this is for school, I don't want to risk anything. So here we go with another spoonful. And now, I'm going to scrape the top off very just messily. Oh, goodness. This could have gone much better than I hoped. Oh, well. Now, I'm going to scoop aside this flour. I'm going to add the flour in 1 cup at a time, because otherwise it will go everywhere. Okay, let that mix. Okay, the dough is done, and now it needs to chill. Oh, the temptations to eat the raw dough, but we do not support salmonella on this channel. Now the dough needs to chill because the butter is warmed up, which means that if we were to shape it out, or if we were to try to shape it out, it would just spread and be greasy and ridiculously hard to shape. And then when we put it in the oven, it would spread. The shapes wouldn't hold their shape. So now I'm going to put little balls of dough in the fridge so that the butter can harden, and then, oh boy, then I can mold the dough into shapes, and then once they're shaped out, they actually get put in the fridge again. Excuse me, I'm putting this in the, actually I'm going to put it in the freezer so it hardens quicker. As I was saying, once the shapes are shaped out, we put them in the fridge a second time, because after being shaped out, they'll be warm again, and if we put them in the oven right after shaping them out, they will spread. And that's not what we want, because to decorate cookies really well, they have to have crisp edges, in my opinion. I know some people are fine with soft edges, but they bug me. I don't know why. Luna's just lying at my feet, waiting for something to drop. Sorry, Luna. No cookie dough for you. What are you barking at, Luna? Who do you see? Hope it's not someone trying to kill me. Okay, this second ball of dough is a little messy. Oh well. Boop. Okay. And now I'm going to check back with you when the dough is chilled. Okay, we are back. The dough is ready. So for starters, I'm going to quickly just give the counter one more wipe. And I'm also going to make sure to dry it, because otherwise the flour will turn into a paste, and that's not what we want. So, before I get the dough out of the freezer, I'm going to sprinkle flour on the counter so that the dough doesn't stick, because otherwise it'll be super challenging to roll the dough out. Okay. I'm going to get the actual dough. Before I do that, though, I had to get the cookie sheet, because otherwise I won't have anywhere to put the shapes. Okay. I'm going to cover this in flour. Now, to roll it out. Make sure that you turn the dough every once in a while, just to make sure that it's not, sticking. Also, another thing is, I always forget this, don't roll really violently. You want to actually kind of go slow, because sometimes, I don't know if you saw it, but the dough will stick and you'll roll it up, which, I don't know. It's not too detrimental, but it's annoying, so that's just a little note. The dough should be about a 1/4 inch thick, which I am not going to bother using a ruler. If I can find one. A coin is really helpful. A bottle cap is the best way to know if it's thin enough. I think a little on the thick side. I'm going to roll it just a little more. And now, I think we are ready to start shaping. Now, some people say put flour on the, oh yeah, that's a little thick. It's good. Put flour on your cookie cutters. I don't think you need to. If your dough is especially sticky, then maybe. But this dough is pretty easy to shape. So, we're all good. Also, some people will put all the cookie cutters on at once and then take them off one by one. But because it's warm in my house and the butter in the dough softens pretty quickly, I do it one by one, so that way I don't get to the end of putting all the shapes on. And then when I try to pull them off, the dough is too sticky. So, I don't know if that made any sense. Oh, these look so good. I'm so happy. Let's see. That's another thing I forgot to mention is when you put the shape in, make sure you just give it a little wiggle to get it unstuck from the rest of the dough. I don't know what this is. If someone can tell me what it is, I think is it supposed to be a bird or a sleigh? I don't know. I'm not going to use it, because whichever one it is boring and too hard to decorate, so. Another note, when I do finish getting all these shapes out, there will be extra dough, and those scraps you can roll up, but don't, roll into a cohesive ball, but don't try to cut at them. You have to put it back in the freezer, because at that point it'll be too soft. I don't know if I have enough dough for another. This is going to be lost shape from this part. Okay. There we go. And now I don't have, actually no, I might have room for one more right here. Yep. Now, the dough has been used up, and the shapes are ready. I'm not going to put these in the oven right away because, again, butter, it melts and it softens. So these actually, if I can fit them, yeah, no, that's not going to fit in the freezer. Going to put these in the fridge so that they can firm up before I put them in the oven. Because if I put them in the oven right away, they will spread out. And that's not what we want. Because, now, depending on how much butter is in your dough, sometimes they'll just, like, lose the sharpness, and then at the worst case scenario, they'll turn into complete circle blobs, which you definitely don't want. So I'm also going to roll this dough into a ball. I'm going to grab it, saran wrap, and now I'm going to put this dough back in the freezer. And once the cookie shapes have hardened, I will put them in the oven. The cookies are ready to go into the oven. And now they bake for 7 to 9 minutes, or until I say they're done. The cookies are ready. The cookies... And there are the finished cookies. They look so good. Now, you'll notice they did spread. You can't tell, but just a little bit they spread. They kind of softened at the edges. That's because this pan doesn't fit in my fridge. So I put it, or it doesn't fit in my freezer, so I put it in the fridge, so they weren't able to get as cold as they would have in the freezer. But, yep, that's how I make my sugar cookies from it's buried under my computer, from the Delish cookbook. I am going to include, I'm going to include a time-lapse of me decorating the cookies, and that's going to be the video. Thank you for watching, and enjoy the time-lapse. Also, Luna wants to say goodbye. Luna, can you say goodbye? Luna. Yep, Luna says goodbye. Goodbye. Enjoy the time lapse. Just kidding. I completely forgot to take the time lapse because my brain is very forgetful and my patience was already half gone from just making the cookies. I made like 180, I think. Yeah, I made a lot of cookies. But I will have some videos of the finished products. But I'm so glad that I'm done because I am exhausted. I've been working on this for the past 36 hours and everything hurts. Also, I'm covered in icing. So yeah, enjoy these pictures and videos of all the cookies I made. Thank you for watching. Bye.